my mind. And truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I will rest in Him who is myself. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I will rest in Him who is myself. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth will correct all errors in my mind, and I will rest in Him who is myself. Thank you for joining me in studying A Course in Miracles. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles this year, and we're ready for Lesson 107 for Thursday, April 17th of 2025. And I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks. Lesson 107. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. What can correct illusions but the truth? And what are errors but illusions that remain unrecognized for what they are? Where truth has entered, errors disappear. They merely vanish, leaving not a trace by which to be remembered. They are gone because without belief they have no life, and so they disappear to nothingness, returning whence they came. From dust to dust they come and go, for only truth remains. Can you imagine what a state of mind without illusions is? Can you imagine what a state of mind without illusions is? How it would feel? Here's how it would feel. Try to remember when there was a time, perhaps a minute, maybe even less, when nothing came to interrupt your peace, when you were certain you were loved and safe. Then try to picture what it would be like to have that moment be extended to the end of time and to eternity. Then let the sense of quiet that you felt be multiplied 100 times, and then be multiplied another 100 more. And now you have a hint, not more than just the faintest intimation of the state your mind will rest in when the truth has come. Wow. Without illusions, there could be no fear, no doubt, and no attack. When truth has come, all pain is over, for there is no room for transitory thoughts and dead ideas to linger in your mind. Truth occupies your mind completely, liberating you from all beliefs in the ephemeral, the changeable. They have no place because the truth has come, and they are nowhere. They cannot be found, for truth is everywhere, forever, now. When truth has come, it does not stay a while to disappear or change to something else. It does not shift and alter in its form, nor come and go and come again. It stays exactly as it always was, to be depended on in every need, and trusted with a perfect trust in all the seeming difficulties and the doubts that the appearances the world presents engender. They will merely blow away when truth corrects the errors in your mind. When truth has come, it harbors in its wings the gift of perfect constancy and love which does not falter in the face of pain, but looks beyond it steadily and sure. Here is the gift of healing, for the truth needs no defense, and therefore no attack is possible. Illusions can be brought to truth to be corrected, but the truth stands far beyond illusions and cannot be brought to them to turn them into truth. Truth does not come and go, nor shift, nor change in its appearance now. Truth does not come and go, nor shift, nor change in this appearance now and then in that, evading capture and escaping grasp. It does not hide. It stands in open light, in obvious accessibility. It is impossible that anyone could seek it truly and would not succeed. It is impossible that anyone would seek truth sincerely and not succeed. Today belongs to truth. Give truth its due, and it will give you yours. You are not meant to suffer and to die. Your Father wills these dreams be gone. Let truth correct them all. We do not ask for what we do not have. We merely ask for what belongs to us, that we may recognize it as our own. Today we practice on the happy note of certainty that has not been born of truth. Today we practice on the happy note of certainty that has been born of truth. I thought that has not. What? Where did I put that in there for? Is that one of those ego slips? Today we practice on the happy note of certainty that has been born of truth. The shaky and unsteady footsteps of illusions are not our approach today. We are as certain of success as we are sure we live and hope and breathe and think. We do not doubt. We walk with truth today and count on it to enter into all the exercises that we do this day. Begin by asking Him who goes with you upon this undertaking that He be in your awareness as you go with Him. You are not made of flesh and blood and bone, but were created by the self-same thought which gave the gift of life to Him as well. He is your brother, and so like to you, your Father knows that you are both the same. It is yourself you ask to go with you, and how could He be absent where you are? Okay, let's read that paragraph again, paragraph 8. Begin by asking Him who goes with you upon this undertaking that He be in your awareness as you go with Him. So we're going to ask God to go with us, okay? And look what He says here. You are not made of flesh and blood and bone, but were created by the self-same thought which gave the gift of life to Him as well. He is your brother. So like to you, your Father knows that you are both the same. It is yourself you ask to go with you. And how could He be absent where you are? Wow, God is so close to us that He is ourself. And He's in our brothers and sisters who also are one with God and one with us. Truth will correct all errors in your mind which tell you you could be apart from Him. Truth will correct all errors in your mind which tell you you could be apart from God or from your brother or from yourself. You speak to Him today and make your pledge to let His function be fulfilled through you. You speak to Him today. In yourself, you find God. In your brothers, you find God. You speak to Him today and make your pledge to let His function be fulfilled through you. To share His function is to share His joy. His confidence is with you as you say, truth will correct all errors in my mind, and I will rest in Him who is myself. Then let Him lead you gently to the truth, which will envelop you and give you peace so deep and tranquil that you will return to the familiar world reluctantly. And yet you will be glad to look again upon this world, for you will bring with you the promise of the changes which the truth that goes with you will carry to the world. Wow, wouldn't it be so nice to be so in tune with God that we come back to the world reluctantly, but we bring with us what we've come, that in that holy instant when we connect with God, we bring that back with us to share with the world. And yet you will be glad to look again upon this world, for you will bring with you the promise of the changes which the truth that goes with you will carry to the world. They will increase with every gift you give of 5 small minutes. And the errors that surround the world will be corrected as you let them be corrected in your mind. Do not forget your function for today. Each time you tell yourself with confidence, truth will correct all errors in my mind. You speak for all the world and him who would release the world as he would set you free. Truth will correct all errors in my mind, and I will rest in him who is myself. I like that concept that truth is going to correct our errors. All we need to do is get out of the way. You know, I heard a man one time told me when I was growing up, he came to our school. He was the representative of Enid, Oklahoma, Norman Lamb. And he came and he said, if you forget everything else I say, remember this: lead if you can lead, follow if you can follow, and if you can't do either, get out of the way. Well, I thought that was some pretty good advice. But here's the thing that God's wanting us to do is just to get out of the way. Let him do the leading, and we do the following. But don't think that we know and try to do it our own way. We need to be good followers of God. And then we'll end up becoming leaders. We'll do all of it. Okay, follow. And by following God, truth will correct all errors in your mind, for you'll be resting in him who is yourself, God. See that self in your brothers and sisters too. Okay, we're ready for chapter 13, the Guiltless World. Let's read the introduction today in the Guiltless World. If you did not feel guilty, you could not attack, for condemnation is the root of attack. It is the judgment of one mind by another as unworthy of love and deserving of punishment. But herein lies the split. For the mind that judges perceives itself as separate from the mind being judged, believing that by punishing another it will escape punishment. All this is but the delusional attempt of the mind to deny itself and escape the penalty of denial. It is not an attempt to relinquish denial, but to hold on to it. For it is guilt that has obscured the Father to you, and it is guilt that has driven you insane. Wow. So we want to start removing the idea that we're separate from our brothers and sisters and keeping that separation apparently alive by blame, by thinking they're guilty and wrong and that you're not. Or even if you are, the idea that you're blaming them, you're not seeing yourself as one with them, which we just learned we've got to learn to do. We've got to see our self as one with God and one with our brothers who are also one with God. No guilt necessary. Paragraph 2. The acceptance of guilt into the mind of God's Son was the beginning of the separation, as the acceptance of the atonement is its end. Or could I say it this way? The acceptance of guilt into the mind of God's Son was the beginning of the separation, as the acceptance of the at-one-ment is its end. The world you see is the delusional system of those made mad by guilt. Look carefully at this world and you will realize that this is so. For this world is the symbol of punishment, and all the laws that seem to govern it are the laws of death. Children are born into it through pain and in pain. Their growth is attended by suffering, and they learn of sorrow and separation and death. Their minds seem to be trapped in their brain, and its powers to decline if their bodies are hurt. They seem to love, yet they desert and are deserted. They appear to lose what they love. Perhaps the most insane belief of all. Not one of them but has thought that God is cruel. Wow. God is punishing of guilt. And he's going to really develop this idea that a misperception of God, which is so common in this world, is that God punishes the evildoers, that God is so perfect and holy and pure that he can't be around sin. Well, I agree with that, but it's not, he doesn't push anybody away. He sees them as just as pure as he is. Everything they've done to the contrary is just in their dreams, and he's wanting to wake us up from our nightmares. He knows we're the guiltless child that's one with him. I will rest in him who is myself. Today's lesson, truth will correct all errors in my mind, and I will rest in him who is myself. Paragraph 3. So let's read the last couple sentences again of paragraph 2 before we go on to 3. They seem to love, yet they desert and are deserted. They appear to lose what they love. Perhaps the most insane belief of all, that you can lose what you love. And their bodies wither and gasp and are laid in the ground and are no more. Not one of them but has thought that God is cruel. If this were the real world, God would be cruel, for no father could subject his children to this as the price of salvation and be loving. Love does not kill to save. If it did, attack would be salvation. And this is the ego's interpretation, not God's. Only the world of guilt could demand this, for only the guilty could conceive of it. Adam's, end quote, sin could have touched no one had he not believed it was the Father who drove him out of paradise. For in that belief, the knowledge of the Father was lost, since only those who do not understand him could believe it. Oh my. I've got a friend who I sent that sentence to, who is convinced that our starting points are considerably different, and I'm saying that our starting point is that we're one with God, that he loves us, and that we've never done anything to be away from that love, only in our dreams, not in reality. And that our changeless reality is that we love God. And that's that, that multiply 100, that perfect peace, and then multiply it times 100, and then 100 more. And then you have just the faintest intimation of what it's like to be with God. Well, that's what we want to wake up to, is that reality that we have. So let me read this again. Only the world of guilt could demand this, for only the guilty could conceive of it. Adam's sin could have touched no one had he not believed it was the Father who drove him out of paradise. For in that belief the knowledge of the Father was lost, since only those who do not understand God could believe it. What we need to recognize is that our starting point is that we're one with God, and that's changeless reality, that God doesn't use guilt, and that is something that the ego mind has made up and has caused us to lose our way. If you want to read more about Adam's sin in the Bible, you can read about it. It doesn't actually use that term, but Genesis chapter 3 and Romans chapter 5. In Romans chapter 5, verse 12 through 21 specifically. Okay, let's see. And the last paragraph 4. This world is a picture of the crucifixion of God's Son. And until you realize that God's Son cannot be crucified, this is the world you will see. Yet you will not realize this until you accept the eternal fact that God's Son is not guilty. He deserves only love because he has given only love. He cannot be condemned because he has never condemned. He cannot be condemned because he has never condemned. The atonement is the final lesson he need learn, for it teaches him that never having sinned, he has no need of salvation. Wow, what a reversal in our thinking. Okay, well, do the best you can at doing your 5-minute practice periods every hour today, or at least bring to your memory, truth will correct all errors in my mind, and I will rest in him who is my self, who is my source, who is my all in all, God within. Okay, let's see what's going on around the world today. It's Lent. It's actually Maundy Thursday, Maundy, also known as Holy Thursday, or Thursday of the Lord's Supper. And Jesus washed the disciples' feet and had dinner with them night before the crucifixion. Luke, you can read about that in Luke chapter 22, verse 14 through 20. It's also Feast of the Unleavened Bread. The disciples were actually celebrating that particular time of year when they were having the communion meal with the Master. They were actually, it was that season of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Bat Appreciation Day. A little tidbit about bats. There's 133 genera of bats and 743 species. Herbalist Day. And I was going to, I forgot to grab it. I could run get it real quick. Do we have enough time for me to go grab it? If you give me just a second, I want to show you something. And I meant to have it right here. Thank you for letting me run grab this. It's my mullein plant. I put it in a pot this winter, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to plant that. It was out in the garden. It's just a weed. But you know what? There's a lot of good value in these mullein plants and what they're good for. Let me just tell you real quick. Mullein, Verbascum thapsus. From the Cleveland Clinic, I found out that it was used for cold, sore throat, skin wounds, healing, pneumonia, whooping cough, allergies, expectorant, reduces inflammation, antioxidant, and protects cells because it's antiseptic. Catch my breath from running over there. Anyway, if Native Americans used it for those things. It's mainly used as an expectorant. Reduces inflammation. An expectorant to help cough up stuff. Good for allergies and anyway, just some nice things about. I found all that on the Cleveland Clinic. I'll put the link in the description below. And then also High Five Day. Give me a high. Thank you for joining me. High five to you. Ellis Island Family History Day. And let's see, Hall's Hardy Almond. Out of, they actually had it in gurneys, but they also had it in edible landscaping. Look what it says about the Hall's Hardy. It's a Prunus amygdalus and a communis crossed with a persica. So it's actually a cross between a peach and an almond, I think. But they're all the same genera. Hall's Hardy Almond, a fine ornamental with large showy pink flowers. Hall's is a cross of almond and peach. The nuts are not paper shell and the nuts are not paper shell and are similar to a peach seed. The hard green flesh around the nut splits and the seed drops like almonds do. Hall's is very adaptable, especially to East Coast conditions. Generally, almonds grow well in California and some parts of Texas, but are not usually adapted to the eastern states. The nut is very tasty with a hint of bitter almond flavor. The trees look like a peach and can be pruned to an open vase pruning to keep the tree easy to pick. Space 12-foot circles, height about 8 foot, zones 5 through 8. And our word for peace is from the 137 Hawaiian Islands. And we learned the other day that aloha is one, but another word is omaluhia. Omaluhia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And how's our time looking? I think we got plenty of time to sing our song without rushing. So, omaluhia, 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 omaluhia. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I will rest in Him who is myself. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I will rest in Him who is myself. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I will rest in Him who is myself. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I will rest in Him who is myself. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I will rest in Him who is myself. Truth will correct all errors in my mind, and I will rest in Him who is myself. Omaluhia.